Hello, y'all there. So, his house is a very. It's a heavy film. I'm not gonna get into spoilers with this one. I'm just gonna put like some content warnings up on screen or something like that. But I think this film will be much more impactful if you just watch it. And I'm also starting to think of changing up the format of these reviews a little bit, that I do more without spoilers. So I'm going to try to keep this entirely spoiler free. So his house is a horror movie from 2020, made in the UK, that is about two refugees from South Sudan after the Civil War. It stars Sope Dirisu and Wumi Mosaku as the couple. Sope Dirisu is also known as the star of Mr. Malcolm's List, and Wunmi Mosaku is also in a lot of other big stuff, including Batman v Superman and Deadpool and Wolverine and Sinners, the Loki TV show from the MCU, and Lovecraft Country. And the third kind of star of the movie is Matt Smith as their caseworker for their refugee status and their stay in the UK. And as they move in, they start to experience a haunting. That is kind of the premise of the movie. That is all clear from the trailer. And the rest of the movie just kind of deals a lot with the effect of war on people, the desperate acts that they do, the desperation that they go through, the whole process of their fleeing and their seeking refuge and asylum. They're trying to do well in staying there in the UK and finding a way to make their new life livable in some sense, and having difficulty with that. There were a lot of moments in this movie, scenes featuring other characters, that hit very hard. Because a lot of the real horror in this movie comes not from this supernatural entity that the characters are dealing with, but from the horrific human acts that they have dealt with, that they have seen, the horrors of war and everything that comes with it. And for that reason, I think this is a very good horror movie. Why is my house so fucking itchy? I'm gonna go take a shower after all this. It has a pretty small cast. It has a relatively small space in which everything is told. But throughout it all, everything is used to its maximum extent to like great effect. The direction and acting is top notch in this film. Like, more than just a good horror movie, this is just an excellent movie. I am honestly I'm surprised that it didn't win more awards. It did win some, mostly for the performance of Wunmi Musaku and some of the special effects in it. But I don't personally think that the effects are really the highlight of the movie. The highlight... It's hard to call it a highlight when it's also like the depths of human nature it shows and goes to, and how much of that is reality for a lot of people and for a lot of refugees. Which is also a subject that in today's political climate is also a very hot button topic. So despite it being 5 years old now, this movie, I think it is very pertinent to this year. This very month, there's an election going, a national election in my country, where immigration is a major topic, chiefly for right-wing parties to push as an issue, and much more sensibly addressed by centrum-left parties. And I've met a number of political and wartime refugees here in my country as well. And it's just... I don't know how to phrase this just like off the top of my head. It fucking sucks. That's very eloquently put, but you don't just leave your country to go to another country on a whim. When you lose everything and try to rebuild the entirety of your life in a completely unknown and seemingly hostile country, that is tremendously difficult. And I would wish for anybody who has suffered through such events to be given a little grace and more help to rebuild their lives, and not to simply have everybody in that other country whine about, oh, those people will get a house. They're not gonna get the best of the best, obviously. And this film also kind of like really showcases that they are in the house that they end up in. I wouldn't ever want to live in a place like that, haunted or not. It's the characters' growth and mental journeys and how they cope with survivor's guilt and actual guilt over the actions that they've taken, and dealing with the loss of everything and everyone that they left behind, and a host of other things expertly done in this. There were a couple of twists in there that I did not foresee, and they just hit harder than any part of the supernatural aspects of the horror in this, or the way that a lot of other horrors try to hit you hard. Yeah, I fully understand why this has basically a perfect rating on Rotten Tomatoes and some other places. I think people should just go and watch it. I think you should just go and watch it. Go and watch it. After, subscribing and liking this video and clicking the bell icon, all that shit. That feels so weird to say right after that. Gosh. Movie made me fucking cry though. Alright, that's it for this. That's it.